August 2013. A stranded truck sits alone on a dark Texas highway. Its owner makes several phone calls asking for help. Then comes a frantic call to 911. The words are unclear, the situation is confusing, and within hours, the caller disappears. For years, people replay that recording, trying to understand what happened during those final moments. Who was Brendan Lawson running from? Was anyone actually chasing him? Or was the greatest danger something he couldn't see himself? In this third investigation, we explore one of the most haunting missing person cases of the modern era. So let's get into it. Imagine hearing someone's voice in what might be the final moments of their life, knowing the answer might already be hidden in the recording, and realizing that after more decade, nobody can agree on what that voice was truly trying to say. So you see, some mysteries they are truly begin with a disappearance. The Brandon Lawson case begins with a voice speaking into a phone somewhere in the darkness of rural Texas, a voice that sounded urgent, confused, concerned, a voice that would later become one of the most analyzed recordings in modern true crime. As this reading unfolds, one theme appears almost immediately: movement. The cards repeatedly points toward motion, walking, searching, chasing direction, uh, changing direction, moving away from certainty and deeper into uncertainty. The reading does not feel like a story that begins with a clear thread. Instead, it feels like a story where circumstances gradually become more complicated than they initially appear. One of the strongest symbols appearing throughout the cards is disorientation. Not necessarily physical disorientation alone, but a growing disconnect between perception and reality. The reading repeatedly suggests someone attempting to understand a situation while simultaneously becoming overwhelmed by it. And that might be one reason this case continues to fascinate people. The human mind naturally wants a villain, a clear explanation, a, a visible enemy. Yet the card suggests something more elusive, a situation where confusion itself may have become a major factor. Another important theme concerns interpretation. The famous 911 call sits at the center of this mystery, and the reading suggests that much of the public fascination comes from a simple fact. People hear different stories within the same recording. Some people hear fear, some hear pursuit, some hear evidence of another person, others hear men struggling to explain a rapidly unfolding situation. And the cards points toward ambiguity, not deception, ambiguity. And ambiguity is often more powerful than certainty because certainty ends discussions. Ambiguity keeps questions alive. As the reading continues, a pattern emerges around isolation, darkness, distance, silence. The cards repeatedly evoke images of a person moving farther away from help while believing they are moving towards a solution. And that paradox appears again and again. What feels like the correct choice in one moment may become the wrong choice minutes later. And once that process begins, every decision becomes increasingly difficult. One of the most striking aspects of the reading appears around the passage of time. Years passed before the physical mystery reached a form of resolution. Yet emotionally, the case remains open for many people. The discovery of Brandon's remains answered only one question, but it did not answer every question. The card suggests that people often assume closure and understanding are the same things, but they are not. Closure can arrive without complete understanding, and understanding can remain incomplete even after the facts are established. The reading also touches on something deeply human: fear of the unknown, not monsters, not conspiracies, but uncertainty itself. The fear of becoming lost, the fear of making one wrong decision, the fear of being alone when help is just out of reach. These fears resonate because they are universal, because anyone can imagine themselves standing in darkness trying to make sense of a situation that grows stranger with every passing minute. And as the cards move toward the conclusion, another message becomes clear. This case is ultimately less about mystery and more about vulnerability. The reading repeatedly emphasizes how quickly ordinary situations can become extraordinary. A vehicle problem, a phone call, a walk into the darkness, none of these things seem remarkable on their own, but yet together they become part of a story that would capture public attention for years. The final cards feel surprisingly compassionate. They suggest remembrance, reflection, and recognition that not every mystery ends with the dramatic revelation. Sometimes the truth is quieter than the theories. Sometimes the most haunting stories are not the ones filled with secrets, but the ones that remind us how fragile certainty can be. And perhaps that is why Brendan Lawson's story still matters. Because somewhere within the questions, recordings, and debates, there remains a simple human reality, a voice calling for help, a night that changed everything, and a mystery that continues to echo long after the phone line went silent. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel.